What's up? What do you do?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to another episode of Banter Brunch. My name is Alexia Musau.
My name is Alice Kanji, and
we've had such an amazing episode.
I love
guys.
this episode.
Yeah, it was the banter. It was the real banter.
It was the real banter.
We just talked about current affairs, trending topics that are happening right now. It was just a good catch up, and we definitely talked about the influencer space in terms of the campaigns that influencers accept in relation to like the whole
and calling them out,
scandal.
calling companies out for some of their work. What else?
We
did a really big reality TV show recap as well.
Yeah, we did. It was so much fun. So stay tuned to the entire episode,
and please subscribe, support us. We just need your subscription,
guys,
and for you to just tune in.
Free.
You know, listen to us when you're on your way to work. Listen to us when you're, showering, washing dishes, cooking dinner.
Shout out to everyone who sees us and actually tells us that they listen to the episode. I went out like 3 weeks ago, and like 4 people approached me and told me, oh my God, listen to Banter Brunch. And it makes a difference because we just see numbers.
Does.
We don't see people, and you guys don't tag us on Instagram when you're listening.
Like,
so, atujuani. So, that's your cue to be tagging us when you're listening as you go to work, yeah?
Just tag us anywhere or just subscribe. And honestly, like, iyon ndio kitu. Like
zote ni kitu, because someone may see and check it out. Me, I'm always checking out things that the people I follow post. So
it's true. Actually, just repost our stuff. Support us in the campaign we're currently running. We're in partnership with Tusk as well. That would mean a lot to us. But yeah, we're getting too much into it. Enjoy the episode,
guys. Bye-bye. Hello, guys.
Hello. Welcome back
to Banter Over Brunch. This is episode 111.
We had a small hiatus,
yes.
But
breaks are good, guys. It was just 2 weeks. So you have to miss us. We have to miss each other. We have to miss recording sometimes. So
once in a while,
it's healthy.
But I will say that we didn't intend to take a break, just circumstances, sure. But because you guys, we love to be consistent and post for you every single Friday, but sometimes life happens. But we move. We're here now, and we're here with a wonderful episode planned for you, because today we're doing a catch-up, because we like to sprinkle
TikTok.
What do you feel about that? Her messaging?
I think I've just watched one video of hers, and I probably didn't like it because I've never watched a video from her. So
boring. She basically advocates for letting a man be a man, quote unquote, and a woman to be you sitting in your feminine energy. So him paying for everything, not lifting your finger to do anything,
being dumb when
and also
around.
Just really advocating for having a mbaba or like a sponsor kind of lifestyle. Or where do you even get them? How do
probably
you
I watched one that was in those lines. So I was just like, there are some truths in where you can rest in your feminine energy, which I think sometimes we don't do that as women. We know you want to sort of you're like relax,
What is?
That's a good question.
What is resting in your feminine energy?
Especially when you've been, let's say, single for long, and you're used to just getting things done for yourself, being so, because you just have you at that point, and then now you get into a relationship and maybe your guy is struggling to do things for you or to show up for you. And some guys will be comfortable with you being like that, but others would be like, babe, like, chill, let me take care of you, And as much as we try to fight it, I think there are ways in which men are wired to do certain things, protect, provide, and all that. Doesn't mean a woman can't do that, because when you have a child, let's say, you want to protect, you want to nurture, but it's just very different, and I think men and women are wired very differently. But now when you start saying, sponsor, or you can't even pay something, I feel like that gets a bit now
demanding.
But
I feel like just go for a woman you can handle, or go for a man that already believes in what you believe in, and you know what it takes to be with such a person. Like if you know you're going for a sponsor or like someone who is like 20 years older than you for the purpose of finances, you know what the expectation is. Like they're going to ask for sugar if you don't want to give them, or yes, they're going to give you money, but like at what cost?
Yes. Don't be shocked now when they start behaving like that or telling you, don't work, I want to be the only one sending you cash.
Exactly.
Or don't go out to the club, I want to be the only one who is looking at you. Usi Shanghai?
Yeah, exactly. But I also feel like if you're not forceful about it, like men just naturally want to do those things. Like you said, they settle into that energy. Because I was talking to someone the other day, and he's someone who is relatively like well off enough to like support a relationship, like being a provider. Let me just say that. But he was telling me about an incident, me sharing everybody's business. By the way, if you're friends, you just content anyway.
But at least you protect your name.
Yeah, no, but just keep it short and sweet. Basically, he was saying how he went on a date to this woman, and he was basically just saying like, maybe just something very direct, like, oh, can you buy for me this? Or not even can you, it's like, you should probably be almost like an entitlement of you should be getting for me this thing.
Oh,
maybe
the girl
it was like,
now.
The girl.
Okay,
maybe like, I don't know. I don't think he was paying for the date. It was probably like, I don't know, buy for me something. And it was almost like saying it in an expectative tone, in expectative.
Did you
Kuna kawad?
I don't know. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Expectational tone. But I feel like when you go about things in a different way and just be like, not say it, but just let him.
It's very off-putting. Let me put it
like maybe
that.
yeah. So
it's
maybe
very off-putting, and before even you're in a relationship, when you're in a relationship, you can joke about it and stuff like that. But even me on a date, if a guy was like, "Oh, you need to cook for me," or you need to, things that you'd think a woman does, or you need to, I don't know.
Let me get into this
exactly,
myself.
and feel safe enough to do that. I think for me, the bare minimum is if we're dating, of course, you gotta pay for the dates, and you gotta probably like pick me up and make sure I get home well. Just that. But
that's your casual expectation.
Yeah, that's the bare minimum. And I think that's it. But
actually, I don't feel like girls are normally picked up from this Nairobi.
I mean, as a time, I used to be spoiled. Ubers,
it's true. I remember the good old days.
I used to think it wasn't a thing until it wasn't in a relationship. It was just in my dating season, and this guy would come home for me.
It's true. You just need one person to actually change your mind about like how things go, but still not be like in your heart that you expect it, and like.
But at least going back home, you should know how I'm getting home. If you're not taking me home,
even if it doesn't happen, you have a way around it, and you're not so defensive about it. But I really just feel with time, like a man will just settle into his role and do some of those things that you probably didn't even need to ask for. But if you like straight off first date, second date, you're still just like, I expect you to like pay for it. Just the way you phrase things,
buy me this bag.
So I think just my advice for the girlies is to just give it time.
Yeah.
From the first date, you'll know if this is someone has something to offer for you. Let me just say that. And so by the time you get somewhere, you'll be able to get the things that you want. I feel you'll know if this is someone who will provide in an extent that you expect him to, but just don't say it outright. I don't know if that sounds good, but I've really tried.
There's someone like I went on a date with, and he was already saying, so the next time you're taking us, I'm like, you're feeling paying for this date that you expect really me to now
holding it. Yeah, so next time you why did you say that? Even men, even you guys behave.
Yeah, it's very icky. It's so
you
icky.
You need to wait. Like I know I've always said maybe maybe I don't wanna like wash dishes or cook for a man. Like he needs to be. But when you start doing things, you'll just
wash the dishes.
Because I was at our friend's house the other day, and she was just like, "Hey, let me cook dinner here because he does things for me, and I need to also like." Show that. And I really just think even if we've been fighting so hard against some of these things, but like
if it works for your relationship, sometimes dynamics are very different, and if it works for you guys and you feel like that's what he'd appreciate, and he's bringing maybe the bread home, and you're like, if it's to cook, or let me get a chef, let me get a housey to come help me, but this food when the guy comes home.
It's different, for different people, because me, I know somebody who, the man really loves to cook, likes to cook, and that other person does not like to cook, be in the kitchen, so you find something else to excite the partner. I really also think, getting back to the conversation of we used to really push, I really like that, just the epitome of what social media does to us or for us. It's because for such a long time the messaging was like, you need to be your own woman, like, I know you know a man is this, but you need to be able to handle your own shit and do this and that and like that's great, and we really like fed into the narrative, and now we started like pushing girl power and everything, but now the messaging is so bigly on settling into your feminine energy and like
and being dumb when your man's around,
being like poised, like doing nothing, and genuinely like, even if you don't understand the impact, like it's so big because you're constantly being fed this narrative, and to you it's like, this is how I think, but really
it's not how you think, it's the messaging, as you said, and it's repetitive. That's why I told you I probably didn't interact with her post because I've never seen it again. So you see now the algorithms is like, you've watched this whole video, maybe you've saved it, maybe you've liked it, so it keeps feeding you the same, and that's why you say, this is how I think. And we talked about it when we talked about
social media, digital
self-care and all that. So
it's so true.
Content, be careful. And you think,
careful,
especially as you said, social media, you're seeing everyone else's relationship without knowing the actual dynamics in the relationship,
Exactly.
So you can start beating yourself up, or you start comparing, but you're two different individuals. My dynamics are not your dynamics. How we relate with my partner is not how you relate with your partner. Our personalities are so different, so you can't pick one thing and say this is the standard of how things are supposed to be.
Exactly. But I think also TikTok is the biggest enabler for such narratives. Like, no, we know like you said, the algorithm pushes, but really I feel like the TikTok algorithm really does push a particular message depending on what you're liking or you're watching for such a long time. And research showed that, a lot of, especially Gen Z, like search engine optimization, they use TikTok for their information. So if they want to know about a particular topic, they go to that, and really generally they will feed you what you're looking for. So whatever your bias is, they really feed you that bias, and then you kind of don't even want to interact with the other bias that's against yours. So listen to our episode on digital self-care. But this has taken a turn. But
and then we just said my guess, as I think you said, it's just a catch-up episode. I mean, every time we take a break, so much happens in Kenya, in the world, and we have opinions, and sometimes we just want to share our 2 cents. Can we just go straight to the Bolt situation? The Bolt cab situation. Recently in Nairobi, Kenya, there was an incident. In fact, it was just around this road. It was scary, Some 2 ladies were kidnapped after they hailed a Bolt taxi, and they were heading home and were held, I think, for a week. And of course, they tried to get the kidnappers tried to get ransom, and it was a very harrowing experience. But we thank God they were found safe and unharmed. And of course, this is not the first time we've heard about Bolt and their drivers being a bit hectic, being a bit crazy, being abusive, and whatnot. And I think for me, the it's not even a thing of, you should have deleted the app. Okay, we can't go back to. They should have deleted it. The fact has already happened, and just how the company is moving. I saw the advertising for a PR person, and I'm like.
It's true because now the past week or 2 there's been offers on the app because they've not done a statement talking about this and that has happened, and so we are really sorry. This is what they're doing is what classic PR cover up shenanigans, but they're looking for a PR person.
At least no, it's not a good story. Don't go there. Okay,
I'm gonna bring it. I'm the change.
No, if you're going there to tell them how, because it feels like they're being so, like, it's not as hard as it seems. You know, of course they have Uber, their competitor. What is Uber doing that is making it safe?
They just simply don't have the same safety precautions or capacity as Uber does, because Uber is so professional. If you have a complaint, Uber will get back to you.
In fact, they tell you,
you've stayed in the Uber for so long. Are you okay? SOS, report, say something.
I'm wondering, is it so hard to change that system that they can't literally copy and paste what Uber is doing? Like, why are they making it sound like it's impossible to make the app safe? You know? Yeah. And instead now offers, because they already know they're the quote-unquote cheaper alternative. So that's how they're trying to lie to Kenyans that, oh, it's okay, you know. But you know, the thing, even me, I hadn't deleted Bolt for such a long time because I was like, okay, I'll take it during the day. Of course, it's a cheaper alternative sometimes, you know, whatnot. But it's just that point, I'm like, it's really not worth it. I'm an enabler, actually. I am enabling them. Because they're like, if Alexia and Alice and Belinda and everyone else is still agreeing to use the app, then it's fine. And then one person now, anyway, I feel like an enabler.
It's true. No, it's true, because and it's just the small... it's just the small things as well, because even if you cancel a Bolt in the middle of your ride, or maybe you've caught traffic and you can't stay, literally they'll charge you the full amount. Uber, you cancel early, they'll say is something wrong, or whatever that you need, the calculation till that time, or if they overcharge you for something, they'll refund you that money. So I feel there are a lot of at what cost are we doing the Bolt situation? And it's not even just that. Last week, I mean, we even had our social media influencer Shelly. Yes, I'm not sure if we're allowed to name drop, and but she did publicly claim this, but she had a very negative incident when it came to using Bolt, something to do with this Uber driver. And you know, they always get so arrogant when this Bolt driver, when you ask them about, when you tell them how much the estimate is. So I think maybe that was the situation. And then he started taking off and telling her things like, I'll show you where, I'll take you or something like that, and started speeding, and she had to fight her way out of this cab. And it's just scary, because it's also people it's not just you're hearing a story from someone or someone else, or someone else has done this.
And I actually think their systems are broken, because I have been in a Bolt, I think it was a Bolt, or probably an Uber who has a Bolt. I don't know, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he was just complaining, and he's like, they don't even have an office. It's sort of even they are running away from the drivers and the riders. They don't want complaints. And I'm like, that system, you guys need to really... And they did it. Remember, it was Taxify. And we thought Bolt now,
and they rebranded.
But... just
they need to have a very big crisis management meeting.
And they make it sound so impossible. It's not as hard as they're making it.
I tend to believe, especially as a communications PR person, that the best strategy is fully claiming that this is a situation that's happening and these are the steps you're trying to do. Exactly. Could you give suggestions? Not running away from and acting like it's not happening.
Yes, and making it now
because your customers are now... Yeah, we know these are things that are happening, and if this is happening in Kenya, we're just not doing enough research to know what are happening in other African countries as well. These drivers are exchanging with each other. The person who's coming for you is different from the one that looks like the one who's in the car. The number plate is different.
Yes.
The other day I was in, I think, Westgate, and this Uber kept telling me, I'm here, you can't see me, Miss Mama is even standing outside the cab. I'm looking at the plate number. At is still KBW in the app, it thinks GKCX, what. And the person I was with was like, no, you're not entering that cab.
And let me tell you, I was told, I think it was that guy, I think he has both the app. So he was just telling me how Bolts now are frustrating, because he was like, Uber, even you can't enter an Uber as a driver. I think every number of trips they ask you for your Face ID to use the app. That's why you can't exchange at someone else to come drive your car unless that car is registered and that profile is registered. You get?
Wow.
So I think that's why now Uber, Bolt, you can sort of just swear shikilia and you don't know this person is a criminal.
Are they trying to save money because they feel like maybe adding more security measures are going to cost them a lot more?
Imagine they just exit this country, Blasi. They exit the WhatsApp.
Because truly, the other cab companies, I think, are more expensive, but they have systems that work. Even Little Cab, I think they're growing really well, but they're a bit more pricey compared to Bolt. Their marketing strategy is they're just a cheaper alternative. And
but you just never know if you'll be
cost?
carried away.
Like I'd rather pay 50 bob more.
True, because let me tell you the difference between Uber most of the time, and sometimes even it's cheaper, and and they give you very good offers as well. So it's just reached a point you're like, me, I'm not even risking, let it just go. Can we talk about the influencer campaign that was rolled out yesterday?
I was gonna say, how do we feel about influencers who are promoting this? And
I've been feeling disgusted from the very first. It's not actually this one that came out last week. They have been promoting for a while. And I'm just like, again, very tone deaf. As an influencer, as a content creator, there's some work I'll refuse. Outrightly, I'll refuse. Because at the end of the day, I'm being associated with this brand. You're tapping into an audience that trusts me. Obviously, when my audience sees these things are being addressed and these issues are not being addressed and you're busy getting your bag, it now just looks very transactional, like nawauza too,
It's
so
true.
I'm very disappointed
and
by
that's
them.
Something that people are always wondering about influencing is that how true is the work or the reviews that they actually give us and we actually go and purchase or make those decisions that we are being influenced to do. 100% influencers have a responsibility to take to really just make sure that even the brands they're working with, but I feel like sometimes they think of the money or
but that's a very short-term thinking, trust you me, because one or two people will register that and it will spread. Right now, it may blow up because this is still very hot, and yet an influencer in their right mind so that this is a reel that I can post, promoting.
In fact, the advice
safety features that didn't work. Those girls, I'm sure, tried to use those safety features that didn't work. And do you think everyone's gonna be okay with it? I'm very happy that consumers called him out, fellow content creators called him out. I don't know if you saw the reel. It was Eli Mwenda.
Yes,
now I'm just going to say it.
Yes.
Because it was a story that was happening this week. And especially for a content creator and influencer on the caliber of Eli Mwenda, I was disappointed.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I'm not saying it in a bad way or to bash him.
No, he's a really good person.
Amazing.
His content is spectacular, but he literally removed a video the day after or something.
The weekend after. It was Monday after this whole thing has happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you need to also, let me tell you, even one thing I do with brands, you won't dictate to me what to do. You
are in control. You tell them, we can't continue this campaign for this month.
Yes, and I have a right to cancel that contract because I'm like, at this point, you have a crisis.
The reasoning is valid.
Yeah, you have a crisis, and let us work together. If it was that thinking, you'd be like, okay, have you guys come up with things that actually make sense, and it's not an influencer campaign that you need right now. Everyone knows about Bolt. You don't need to influence about it. What you need is to show that you have made a change.
What I was gonna say is that here is my application for the PR job. What I was gonna say is that if you're gonna completely shift dynamics with the influencers and say, okay, we're in a crisis, help us ask our audience or engage our audience to ask them how we can improve or what, something to the campaign shifting to how we can fix the problem and not keep using the cabs, their discounts or, safety features. Like, okay, I know they were told, okay, you need to push the safety features that we've added or something, but it's a bit too soon. The strategy, I think the person responsible should have done a better job. Simple as that. Because I know Bolt offices are in, they are a European company, but the person in charge here, I think, I know you're in a crisis mode, but I don't think you handle it good, especially influencer campaigns. I think that was a very good opportunity for them to shift dynamics and say, okay, this is happening. How do we make these influencers? Have a focus group. Call them. Say, we are really trying to see how we're going to work this. And influencers being authentic and say in the process and say, this was a problem and like, how do we address it? Calling them out. Then on the social media platform. Calling them out, like, on their situations. Like, you don't lose value to brands if you say the truth. I feel like maybe even if you're losing, okay, sawa, they've given us a negative review, but it's for a good reason. Like, call out the say, brands.
Okay, I've seen the story running. Okay, I don't know how much leeway legally they can speak on it, but just be like, because at the end of the day, it's an influencer partnership. It's a paid partnership.
If I decide not to,
You see, because you are using me to get my audience. So I have the right to tell you this does not sit with me and my audience, you know, and we need to come together and figure this out.
And at the end of the day, they will still tell you your deliverables are 3 reels, 2 photos. If the reel is negative review, they'll still pay you, in my opinion. Because where in the contract does it say you have to say positive things? Nowhere.
Yeah.
You have to say, like, they tell you so that you share like authentic things, but
you can literally just put it on hold. Like, just say, I'm not posting, because at the end of the day, you have autonomy over your page.
It's true.
You don't own my page. Yeah. So, and I'm just happy that people are speaking out. Even as a fellow content, I like it because I saw it and I just did. Because I knew I saw the video. I didn't even watch it, but I just said. I even opened the caption to see Kwani which serious security features are these that have been launched. It's a Monday. No comment.
Is the video down?
Of course.
Oh,
of course. And I was happy Instagram took it as seriously because someone was like, Instagram is really love and light. Everyone is just happy vibes. Twitter is where we come to finish
by the influencers do terribly on Twitter because
influencers are like, you can't be doing this. Good content, but not the brand. Like, come on. Too soon, death.
And if I was the other companies, this is the time to now really put yourselves out there.
We are open
Uber,
for
honestly, guys, Uber has been good from the time they came into the market. I can say that the complaints have been few. And I think they really, every single time you see they've added something that is, you know, like, for example, asking you've been waiting in the Uber for too long. Is there a problem? You see, they keep
forgotten your things?
You're about to leave. Take care of your belongings. Like, you feel like they care about the brand.
Yeah. No, Uber, you're doing a good job. I remember even there was this complaint when you used to cancel a ride and then you used to get the fee. Nowadays, they're like, it's okay, cancel, we'll find you another ride for free. You know,
it's true.
Going updating their systems, because it can't be perfect all at once. But we need to see that effort. Bolt is like, PR, then it's like they fire the person, then they wait for the next scandal. Anyway, we said we're not giving them free PR, but they just need to honestly.
They need to ship up or ship out.
Clean, like get things in the house sorted.
Exactly.
Another thing that happened, did you go for Boyz II Men?
Of course not. I wasn't the TA, first of all. And it was quite expensive for people who are watching it on a screen that was 2-inch. I don't know. But I feel like Kenya, there's always a strategy. Just pay for the original, the regular ticket, and you will find yourself somewhere. Like if you just need to know like 1 or 2 people. But anyway, what do you think about Boyz II Men? Did you go and why not?
I didn't go, one, because I'm not a big fan of them. And I really told myself, I won't be going for things because of FOMO. Honestly, you sleep, you wake up in the morning, you check the highlights online. So unless it's someone that I really, I'm like a band or musician that I really want to see, or if I intentionally just want to be out, then I don't think it's a must. I think I've moved away from that. So that was the main reason I didn't go. Of course, ticket prices, I was like, I have something better to do with that money.
I just, when the ticket prices came, I just, what?
Yeah. I was like, it's cool, but I was like, really?
I'm waiting to see the value.
Yeah, I was like, I already bank with Stanbic. They're making money from having my money sitting in their account. I'm not going to make for them more money.
How is banking with Stanbic?
They're not paying me to talk about them, so to don't get a okay. But yeah, Stanbic. We're just here pitching ourselves for all the brands we mentioned.
Yeah, Uber, Stanbic.
Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. What was I saying? Yeah, so those are the reasons I didn't go, honestly. And I think, yes, I know the last Stanbic festival they had last year, I think it was last year with Anthony Hamilton, it had very good reviews, extremely good reviews. So I also thought, wow, this one is gonna be amazing. Guys are gonna enjoy. I was like, even they'll get value for money. Yeah, only to wake up to a disaster on the timeline. And I think it's very, people always put regular people on a certain standard. But it's very bad to take money from someone and not even give them at least value for what they paid for. 8,000
I mean, it's sipesa kidogo.
Even
if it was regular, there was surely something that you're supposed to have gained from that. Because even, for example, even just give the example of Beyonce, which we'll get into, like even though your tickets are the least of the hierarchy, I've not had even a single person say, it wasn't worth it or something. There's just something you take from the experience, you know?
And I saw, I think on the first poster, someone specifically asked for the seating arrangement to be posted. And I think that's what we need to demand from event organizers, because you're here telling me to pay 8K, 30K. I need to see, okay,
what's
maybe you can convince me to actually go to VIP, because I want to see better. Let people know what they're going to get on ground, not to come and discover, hey, we can't see anything. So I'm very happy. Again, I'm just happy that consumers are demanding a lot, because at the end of the day, people are working very hard for this money. The taxes are not getting any easier, any lighter.
Yesterday I had maintenance day and the money flew.
Yeah.
And flew.
So we really need to be getting value for our money. So yeah, I think it was disappointing, especially because they did a good job last year. And of course, Stanbic threw the blame to like Radio Africa events. Course. They're like, yeah, you guys, that was your work.
Was Radio Africa. It was Radio Africa's work, honestly. So I think maybe if they were partners, it was maybe on a financial level. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, the Stanbic name was what carried the name. Of course, Radio Africa being a partner. But I think that's also just a call in general for event organizers, because this is not a Radio Africa issue. This is an event organizer issue in Kenya in general. There are so many that are coming up right now. There's these like 50,000 event organizers in this city. And I feel like if the competition is high, then so should the value, baby.
Yes, for
and
sure.
Yeah, one day you guys are just playing around. One day an event organizer will come and really shut the scene, because it just takes... I mean, I know it takes a lot of money to do those things, but I mean, if you do, I feel like whenever you invest a lot of money for something that is really, really valuable, people will pay for those things. Simple as that. Same thing you're saying, Uber here, we pay more, but the value is translating to what you're paying for. Next time Stanbic is having an event or Radio Africa is having an event, guys are going to have questions.
Of course,
every single event organizer that has had something, always, whenever they throw an event, someone from somewhere on Twitter will say something about that event. You know, will you show us something? It already ruins your PR name in general.
Oh, true. So I just say, as you said, it's a call to event organizers, like, we're not just going to be accepting things for just accepting, you know, like there needs to be. And if your event is not of that standard, Musau, fanya 500 bob. People won't have that expectation. They'll be expecting things of 500
bob.
You know, but you can't be saying 3K.
Cocktail.
Yeah, even like Soulfest last year, I know guys were not happy with it. They came late. They performed for a short time. And I know they have a Soulfest this year because the band is breaking up, whatever. And I know guys want to see them perform and, you know, are willing to pay. The thing about Kenyans, we are willing to pay. Kenyans, they love experiences and they're very willing to pay. But we need to feel that value for money. We need to feel like, you guys, it's not a money-making scheme. You know, you actually love the people coming and you want to give us a good experience. Yeah,
it's true. And like, again... it goes a long way when you do something good and people are talking good things about you, because the next one you're going to have is going to be even better. So yeah. Definitely. Hey, but on a small screen, we are sorry. I didn't feel an impact. I think that was a very heavily millennial event, and I know at approximately maybe even 2 Boyz II Men. I'm just seeing them, you know, roses. I'm seeing my friend there who didn't even pay for a ticket, front row. You know, that's also another thing about these events. Like, people don't like paying for those VIP prices because they know they will find their way. Because there's also always that thing, events pia hapo wanafailingi. Because how is it that most people, half the people who are always in those VIP never pay for those things?
Yeah, even someone saying.
What convinces you to pay for those things if any Tom, Dick and Harry can enter those things?
Yeah, because then Stanbic, they're like, those are just their big corporate clients who got to be VIP and...
You know, like most of them, they even just got those tickets for free.
Yeah, but the VIP experience looks nice. I know they had dinner, they had nice things. But yeah, treat regular vizuri. Acheni mambo mengi.
Regular ndio wengi ndio wako Twitter.
Exactly. That's where you make most of your cash from. But anyway, you wanted to you mentioned Beyonce's
Speaking of concerts, Beyonce.
How comes everyone is just going to see Beyonce? It's become like it's normal. I'm like, hey, today it's this one. Today I'm like,
it's like, okay, so now we are reaching a point where, people have been saying that Nairobi is really growing economy-wise and like just financially in general, even though we are feeling a very big pinch in terms of, for us, we are feeling like, things are going like haywire. But genuinely, if to have people come on, like people we are interacting with on a daily basis, be able to just casually say we are going for a Beyonce concert and it's not just one influencer, it says a lot about where we're going as a country or just the globalization that's happening just around and hopefully in Africa in general, because I also saw a lot of South African influencers that I follow as well or just friends who are able to go. To me, that says I took it as a really good thing because it says even when it comes to our kids' times, even more people will be able to just say, like live kind of how Europeans live, which is just like, I just like live life for living. And I think that's what Gen Z has been trying to transition to, is like, it's not about sustaining the job. It's about how comfortable I am in this job. And if it's not serving me, can I move somewhere else that I can work, make an impact, but still, feel like I'm doing something. Our parents, you have one job, 50 years. Retirement. That's the same job, retirement. But for us, I feel we really value living our life as well, which is something really good, something very difficult as well to do at the same time. But I think it's also just prepping for the next generation to be able to do these things. So I really took it positive because like, wow. Because even my best friend went to Beyonce.
Yeah.
Okay. Her sister flew from Nairobi to go to see Beyonce. And they had a fantastic time. And never in like my whole life did I ever think people we know would be going to see Beyonce.
It used to look so far-fetched.
Like, it was so far-fetched. You're just seeing our screens, Chris Brown, Nani. Squeezy, at least one person who's going to see Drake. One person who's going to see The Weeknd. You've seen, one person who's going to see this. Of course, most of them is broad friends, but just even having that opportunity. Growing up, we would never hear anything like that.
Yeah,
so
it's a globalization and people being like, you know what, I actually can if I want to. So I just panga
this thing and you go for it. It sounded like such as Baba language there. Just panga this thing.
And go. You guy, my guy, just panga this thing, we go.
I would have loved to go because I'm one of them. I'm one of the people who really like Beyonce. I loved her new album. I had it. I loved it. It was one of my favorite albums. Like, I loved Renaissance because I feel like she always just makes me feel like the baddest bitch. Like, I just normally I listen to Beyonce. I know you're just looking at me like, hey, okay.
No,
but like she just, do you ever feel like listen to some music and you're just like, yes, like, I got this, like some extra oomph. That's how Beyonce makes me feel. Yeah. And I feel that people who feel it times 50,000 because when they listen to Beyonce, it's like a god almost for them. But I completely enjoyed it. People dressed up for the occasion. Which is also something I'm liking about even just where we're moving towards. We've been bashing people how they dress these days a lot. I mean, for a very long time, but now I'm saying there are a lot of, upcoming, what are they called? Designers or couture, stylists or whatnot. When we watch Real Housewives of Nairobi, they are traveling with their stylists. So, yeah.
No, how can we forget to talk about Real Housewives of Nairobi and
the reunion? Yes. Hey, you should focus on your breast. One is up like our taxes and down. The other is down like our economy.
What
I'm sorry.
Sonal, why are they not on her side anymore? And
Sonal,
I'm like,
hey. Wananigeukia kigeugeu.
90% of what they discussed happened outside of the show. Because I'm like, in the show, Sonal was calm.
Nobody had issues. And then all of a sudden,
Mine goes and plans her matusi.
It's true. It's like, you wanna practice. This is what I'm saying. Because how did
even Michelle Taname, I think once she came her that day, she said,
hey, I know they'll ask me.
I write checks.
Hey, because how did, but there are people who they're matusi tunakwanga tu hapa kwa mdomo. Because I know there's one person I used to feel, I don't remember who it, but I remember in high school. This one they'll they're just here at the tongue, because how do you even think of such insults?
So me, the first part was very boring of the reunion. The second part is that had the tea.
Hey.
Like you women.
But I also feel like Sonali, what they were saying about Sonali is true. Kigeuge uyudim.
Your friend.
I like her, but she's always in the middle of something.
Yeah.
She said this to who? She said this to who?
You can really think she's not.
So she said that Nani is the one who said this.
We go against Susan. We
team up and go against Susan. Hey?
So not me if I speak. Then Vera brings another angle. Who did you go? You're an escort.
Hey! How do you make your money?
No matters.
Oh my God.
The one that really made me happy is Dr. C saying that Vera is ratchet. Then Vera was like, yeah, but you want me to market your wine.
Buying.
Then
Oh my God.
Said, yeah, even ratchet people drink wine. I was like, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Even ratchet people drink wine. It's true.
First of all, Dr. C came out blazing.
So now, even today, I'm
telling you,
pathological. That was the word of the day. Yeah. Pathological liar.
I will walk with you.
I will walk with you.
She's saying I'll help you through your psychiatrist journey because you cook.
Poor her. I have no friend. I walk alone. I'm waiting for the next season. I'm a Simba. Even Simba. Let's see.
A lion? Oh, but Sonal didn't even say. Anyway.
Me, I don't. I liked Sonal, but I know she's those people. You know those people with that personality. Ongea tu. Here and here and here.
But they are sweet and they are quiet, but they're the ones who are causing the fires.
Guns blazing. And people also.
Like Mine who shouts. So you know she's
it's
not
true.
She's not
what you see is what you get.
Yeah, you know she's not okay. She can hook up for you any minute.
It's true. The silent criminals. It's true. I mean, I love Mine actually. I like her because she's very authentic. I thought it was very foul I think it was Sonal, or I don't know. No, what's that white lady called?
Lisa.
What Lisa did to her, where she talked about something very vulnerable, or her husband talks about something very vulnerable, which is miscarriage. I feel like that's such a very personal thing for you to just go and announce to everybody, and nobody has given you the permission to do so. Yeah.
Especially on camera.
Especially on camera, you know, like on the side, because you know, I mean, it's obvious there are cameras, like whenever they are filming these shows. It's not like they are hidden. That is the time you want to just bring the story.
Please, you need to watch Green Houses because it is driving
Durban. Oh my God. Hey, young rich and famous Nilimaliza, young famous African. Oh my God, I love how Diamond is such a star in that show, even though because he'll disappear for about 4 episodes. He shows up. I mean,
what's happening?
A man will leave you in the desert with no water because the way he denied talking anything about Zari. Oh my goodness! I mean, you know, Mama C. Why would I do that? And then Mama T. Case closed. Thank you. Pantana was just like, what? That shows you a lot about baby mama, baby daddy problems. Hey,
don't do it to
very
put yourself in
tough.
a relationship and you don't understand those dynamics.
Very tough. I don't think there's any point you can say anything bad to Zari about Diamond and say something bad about Zari in secrecy and in public for him to claim he said anything. There is no way.
That is also, her personality is very alpha female. You know, she gives amper.
Oh wow, you're shouting. Okay.
The boss lady.
Actually, she never like shouts. She just like, oh.
So of course Diamond carries her to a certain and you see she was his first baby mama. She's older than him. So that dynamic, don't try competing.
Yeah, you can't compete. Yeah. Fantana here claiming, I don't know, we have an agreement, I don't have feelings. She's there crying, Diamond hasn't responded to my messages, Diamond this, Diamond that.
But I feel like Fantana, she still shouted at Zari.
Yeah.
What did you tell her? She old woman.
Yeah, she called her she's an old woman who doesn't know what.
But Fantana's like, babe, you're 40 something, I'm 25. You want to compete? You want to shout at me?
It's true. But you know, sorry. Another vulnerable moment that I really did. I didn't like how they treated that guy when he came, Louis. I I thought who was shouting at him 24/7?
Bonang. This Bonang that you people praise. You know, people like Bonang, and I've never understood why. So I was so excited to watch this show and see this beautiful Bonang who is a star. You know, because I've never interacted with her content. I know she has a reality show. I've never watched it. I've never followed her.
Me neither.
She's a mean girl. That is who she is. She's egotistic. Even though she introduced herself, I'm mean. You feel nice saying those things about yourself. You are a bad person.
Like, she really was not even giving him the opportunity to explain himself. And when he actually opened, another guy we need to talk to, but we'll get later. when he opened up to, what's his name?
Naked.
This
nice guy.
The male version of Sonal. But that's another conversation for another day. Because when he opened up and talked about the family situation and like how it was, like I felt, man, like I understand where it's coming from. And even when he kept trying to explain himself, like it was just always a shouting matter.
It's such a big deal.
Sit there. Sit here with me. What is this? Is it a problem?
First of all, he's not a child. Don't talk to people like that. You know, I think that's why for me, I was like, who does she think she is? I mean, you know, you had to memfeed that she's the queen of Africa.
It's true. There's nothing like that. Yeah. No, that was very. I don't like how she treated Louis. Louis deserved better.
And at the end of the day, I think the story was true. See, guys now put the poster of that Nabidia thing. She kept saying, he lied. Don't talk about. She was doing too much.
Why would he lie about something? Okay, even if he lied, was it such a huge deal? Like, you know, we organized an event and then he was even telling her in a way that he wanted to apologize for what he did.
She now made it about
the whole season, nothing substantial that she was saying.
And she left the show. She had zero relevance. Let her stick to her show. You people, you enable her toxic.
There's a criminal boy in that show
called Andile.
With Andile.
Why did he bring it to
you know, I needed to, talk. My friend, I tweeted something like, Andile I hate Andile because he's always talking like he's giving a motivational speech or something. Like, I needed to talk to her if I was going to get into a relationship with my friend.
Yeah, it's true.
And he is such
like it's a presentation.
A criminal. It's always a presentation. And
even when it's other people, I called Zari and I called, Annie and Swanky are both my friends. So I needed to bring them together.
To understand. Another criminal. This one who's a marriage proposal that's not a proposal. Oh my goodness. I know.
No, that show was messy. Naked,
please, just watch. I needed to do something to make her feel special. Proposing and not, which is not a proposal. Guys, I'm telling you now, it is not the strategy. Because why would you go on your knee and a pre-proposal, or what was that?
Yeah.
And the person who gave him that advice was on the wrong. What's her name?
Kanji.
Even her, she's bad.
She knew that's
because
bad
that you need to do something pre-proposal, and he took it like.
Seriously?
What do you think about
nonsense? What do you mean? So am I? And she kept saying, "Are we engaged now? Or is there?"
I just wanted a pre some.
Naked,
there are better
ways.
Is
my best. I love him. Every time he speaks, I just laugh because he's about to say something so nonsensical in such a funny way,
And she's never believing that he's doing something nice for her, for him, for her.
So fun.
For real, this is
you planned all of this. He says, "Don't say that."
You make it hard to do something, but I understand her completely because of the nonsense he's doing. An engagement that's not an engagement, that is prime example.
No, Andile, first of all, why was his two baby mamas on the show? Like
at dinner, two baby mamas, just coming together. First of all, I see similarities in his type.
Those girls are like twins.
They're twins.
And one was before, but after.
Before, then the other one, then after. They're both very beautiful women, though. I'll give him that. But
no,
that is just
show,
messy.
Guys, sorry,
as a kid, I just sometimes just reflect as a kid how I would look at adults as people who have everything sense. Together. They have so much sense. But it's even people with the kids and just everything that just do the most. Like, oh my goodness. It's giving Nick Cannon behavior.
And Swanky was just too extra this season.
Swanky was
so
too
annoying.
much. Was too much. Everything shouting.
Yeah. Even
we've already accepted she's dumb sometimes with the way she acts between.
But I believe Swanky. I believe she talked shit about him.
I believe it.
Yeah, and she just kept wanting to make up. Let's make up. Just to cover the whole thing. That's not the issue. You need to take accountability. Let me tell you, in friendship, one thing that's so key is taking accountability. And in life, actually, taking accountability, asking for forgiveness, and moving forward. Because even the apology was like, it can't
at
work.
no point did she say she did anything wrong when were having a conversation on the apology or whatnot, which is na pia huyo tu baba wake, the things he was saying on the show were just insane,
and then making Nadia look like she was the one who was prompting him. His son was saying those things.
Like what Andile, why are you?
Don't.
What have I said?
I was getting annoyed.
I was so there was nothing.
She's not controlling his mouth. He's the one talking. Hyper.
Hey. Anyway,
but the guys,
that was reality TV
classes. Because Real Housewives of Durban, the tea is hot.
It's piping.
The tea is hot and they're just talking Zulu.
Oh my God, I love it. Even their mapiano right now is hot piping.
Yeah.
So,
okay, those people put to the sub-minis. But I was like, Duolingo is there. Just learn.
Hey.
I feel like Africans, we don't talk.
We need to embrace it even more.
We have very many tribes. We have many tribes, so there's not a tier language that we can all learn. Apart
I
from
wish there was.
Swahili.
But I really wish we didn't go through that phase of hating our languages. Because I feel like there was a time it was cool to speak English and not Swahili or Luo or Kikuyu. I think we missed so much. We missed out on so much during that time. Because a show where we're just, like, I know Real Housewives, Sawa, but if we had even more Swahili, or I don't know, I feel like if we embraced our languages more, I feel like South Africans do that. The music, the language, the even everything.
The YouTubers, they talk, then they switch to
their language. Even their tweets. And I love that. I love that energy.
But
and
they
I
have
really
few tribes. It's better that way.
It's true.
Yeah, 42 tribes. Anyway, guys, this episode should have been sponsored by Showmax.
So Showmax?
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Because the tea how did I forget
about I love those of Durban. Say less. I am bucket list because reality TV.
You meet a lady called Nonku Williams. and
I love it. But they also inspire me. I also want to be in those. Okay, I don't know if I want to be in the show, but I wanna be able to say I'm going to see my friends in Nigeria. And that's the globalization I want. The African, connectivity. Being able to say I'm flying to South Africa, Nigeria, I'm flying to Rwanda,
Morocco.
I just wish it wasn't so expensive.
They're not African, so
50-50, but anyway.
Anyway, guys, I think we learned it here.
I think we learned it here. That was an episode and a half. Proper catch up. Catch up about life and not us. We've not even done us, but maybe next time.
Yeah, the next episode. The next episode is a guest episode, so be sure to tune in for that. We love to have guests over here.
And this season we showed up.
Yes.
The guests are not just guests. They are people of substance.
They are people of substance. So we are looking forward to that. Yeah, so be sure to like, share, subscribe. If this is your type of content.
Force. Like, what do you mean?
No,
like, can you subscribe? Do you know YouTube has even started monetizing at 500 subscribers? We need to.
Is it also in Kenya?
Why would it not be in Kenya?
I thought it was certain regions. I saw someone say certain regions.
To confirm
actually, YouTube are doing such a good job with their creators.
They are really pushing. And they had it in Nairobi. Last time was South Africa.
And they are flown into the countries, even the Kenyan
we had all these people in Kenya and I didn't even know. Like, I just saw one of my
YouTubers. I was like, I just saw a pin, Nairobi, Kenya. I told her, welcome. But I just saw my message.
God, I love that so much. Like, we need to be in the next one. Please get us there. We need to be in the Spotify one and the YouTube one. Spotify nakuja very closely.
And they give us both.
That's what I'm saying. We need, guys, please.
No, but I'm like, are those competing brands?
No, they are not. They are not competing brands. They are different things. They sell different things. It's audio. Wow.
Okay, we are
if they want exclusivity, you know what to do. Spotify, YouTube.
Increase the deal. The tunes. Hatuwezi kata taxes. Zimepanda tujaongea influencers were given a break because wanted to pandisha it to 15%. There was a lot of people saying a lot of things, and I don't think they understand how the influencer world works. Because I know people show off these things and we get free things, but
you're already taxed by the time you're even doing any influencer partnership.
And you see, most of the content creators nowadays are making it a full-time job. That means you've left your job where you'd have insurance, you'd have NHI.
It's basically entrepreneurship.
You'd have things sorted for you.
It's entrepreneurship.
We're not yet there. Let me just say we're not yet there. I know the influencer space is growing in Kenya, and maybe at a point where it's actually recognized as a career and we are getting more money in because people are still struggling. Yeah, so in another 3 years, maybe we can revise it. But for now, give us a break.
Give us a break. Yeah, we're just trying to make it in this terrible financial economy we're in this Nairobi. Gosh, money is just disappearing. The USD to Kenyan shillings is disastrous. But anyway.
Economics. We should have an economic.
Get a guest talk to us some finance manenos.
Yeah.
Tax season kwanza.
Yes, sijafile.
Same.
We thank God we're not filing nil returns. We're making money. Hi guys.
Thank you for tuning into this episode.
That's how we end the episode. Thank you so much.
My name is Alice Kanji.
And I'm Alexia Musau.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.